Book Tuesday. Today I want to talk about some of the worst books that I have read so far in the year of 2021. Now, so far it's been a pretty positive year. I've read a lot of really good books, and you will see that when my favorite books of 2021 comes out on Sunday. But there are definitely some books that I did not like. So yeah, let's talk about them. This is actually the first book that I read in 2021, so I did not start the year on a terrifically high note, but it was The Origins of a Story. This is a book that covers a lot of stories about how some of our favorite books have come into the universe. Like, how were they thought of, how were they created, and that's a great idea. And I love that so much, just to see how these authors got their inspiration for books, what made them write it, how they wanted to explore it. It was just so cool seeing authors' inspiration. That's not what I hated at all. I still love that book for that part, but just the way it was made was just so cheap to me. There were so many typos in this book. I cannot believe a book with that many typos, with that many errors in the English language was published. And it read so much like a compilation of Wikipedia articles, and I did not like it. I thought it was lazy. And yeah, moving on to the next one. And that is, unfortunately, Keeper of the Lost Cities. Well, first of all, I read this in like 7th grade, but I wanted to give it a second chance, and I really wanted to like it. I even bought a new copy that was illustrated and annotated. I just really wanted to like it upon my second read of it, and I didn't, unfortunately. I made a reading vlog of it that was a lot of fun to make, and I definitely recommend you watching, but I feel like I liked it less after rereading it. There's just so many, first of all, morally things wrong with this book. Some of the descriptions, the places, and the hierarchies, I just didn't like. Some of it just didn't make sense. And it was also very much a Harry Potter ripoff, which is not horrible, but it definitely doesn't like add anything to the book and does degrade it in a way. Like, there's just so much, like, the magic school is fine, right? Like, the magic school isn't a Harry Potter concept by any means, but there was just some parts of it that like so closely resembled Harry Potter that you can't overlook it. I felt like some of the characters just resembled each other so much, and that I just couldn't differentiate some of them. And the plot, it was very enjoyable, and it was very fun to read, but it just made no sense at the end why they did some of the things they did, why they hid some of these things. There are some things I did like about this book. The foster parents relationship with Sophie, I really liked that. But there were just so many things that didn't make sense and didn't add up. And there were also just some morally things wrong with this and ethically things wrong with this that I just couldn't overlook. I am so sad and disappointed that I didn't like this, but, well, at least I gave it a second chance. Next, we have a children's book that I returned to the library, and that is Fantastic Mr. Fox. And you might be wondering, perfectly reasonably, why I read Fantastic Mr. Fox, and that's because I did a vlog where I read some celebrities' favorite childhood books, and I thought, who was this? I think this was Scarlett Johansson's favorite childhood book, and I didn't like it. I actually read some reviews of Fantastic Mr. Fox, and Patrick Rothfuss has a hilarious one that so closely resembles my own thoughts on this book that you should definitely go read. I'll leave it in the description down below. It's hilarious. There's so many things about this. Fantastic Mr. Fox is not at all fantastic. Just what he does doesn't make sense to me at all, and I mentioned about this in the vlog, but like, so he's stealing food from these farmers who are just trying to make a living. And so the farmers, they go to the hole where Fantastic Mr. Fox and his family lives, and they're like, we'll just wait by this hole, and he has to come out eventually, or else he will starve. So they just wait, and they don't leave the hole, and they just wait by it. And you think that's a pretty good plan. But what does Fantastic Mr. Fox do? He has this great plan that he thinks of a lot. It takes him a really long while to think about this plan, and it's to build a tunnel and go through the farms from bottom up. And he steals the food, and they live happily ever after. There's underage drinking in this book. There's sexism in this book. Fantastic Mr. Fox is not fantastic, and I did not in any way like this book, and I will never read this to my child if I ever have one. And lastly, Adultolescence. I posted fun, really fun video about this book that you should definitely go check out. I had a blast making it, where I basically read the book on camera, and I basically just reacted to some of the poems after I read this. But let me just describe this book. So it's basically an anthology, a collection of a collection of poems by Gabby Hanna, who is a really popular YouTuber. I mean, I don't think she's really popular anymore. I think I was looking at her videos the other day, and they don't get nearly as many views as they used to. But anyway, she's a YouTuber, and she was given the ability to publish a collection of poetry that is just bad. It's just subjectively bad. It's a joke. That's a joke. But it's very bad. And a few of the poems are good, but a lot of them are just, you don't understand why they were written and why they were published. And I just did not enjoy it in any way. So yeah, guys, those are the 4 books I have just not liked so far in 2021. Yes, it was a pretty short list. Like, most of the books I've read have been pretty good, or if not really good, or if not good, just average. But the books I talked about today were just next here. And you might have noticed that a lot of these books were books that I do not normally read. One was an anthology of different Wikipedia articles, as I said. One was a collection of poems. One was a children's book. And then one was a middle grade. So, like, these are things that are outside of my comfort zone. And so I didn't like them. Even then, some of the books I did really enjoy are also out of my comfort zone. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment down below, subscribe, post notifications on, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye.